One.
You are watching Sipping Off the Cuff on TequilaAficionado.com. I'm Alex Perez in Southern California.
I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio. You like my nice
It's
DJ headset? You like that?
the sound of San Antonio.
The sound of San Antonio. My old DJ days. Smooth Jazz 1013. The Horizon. That's where I used to work. That's exactly how we used to have to say it. So
Say it
anyway,
again.
it was Smooth Jazz 1013. The Horizon. See how you have that little pause in? That's how we had to say it.
The horizon.
The Horizon. It was a cool. I loved it. Loved being on the air, and as you can tell, I don't shut up. So I was the morning disc jockey. I was the morning the. In fact, I was so happy to be on the air that the general manager, the owner of the station, said, "Just teach him to tone it down a little bit because it's still 6 in the morning for a lot of people when they wake up in the morning." It's bouncing off the walls.
That's great.
Anyway, tonight, to bounce off the walls, we have this monster. Look at this bottle, Alex. Look at the packaging on this thing.
Great looking bottle. It's
I've
great
never seen
packaging.
tinted glass on a mezcal bottle. Look at
Yeah,
this.
it's a great bottle, great packaging.
It's substantial too, man. This is a heavy bottle.
See the Oaxaca branded on the bottom there?
Yeah, this is the mezcal. For those of you who follow Tequila Aficionado, you know that we have an article on I call it the Montelobos project. And I interviewed the creator of Montelobos. His name is Ivan Saldaña. Ivan also wrote this book, The Anatomy of Mezcal, or it's also in English and Spanish. You can find it online. It's for free, literally for free. The man is a scientist, is a PhD in fact, let me just read you this guy's background, okay? Because I had to ask him. He got a PhD in biochemistry from the University of Sussex in England. His English is perfect. It's big. It's better than mine. Not to mention his Spanish. Um, Born in Guadalajara, he has worked for companies like Pernod Ricard, and he just wanted more. And I asked him, why did you get involved with mezcal? Why didn't you go into making a tequila? And he said, well, because he did his thesis on on the maguey, the agave, and its survivability, the way it evolves to survive in tough environments. And he loved that about the mezcales, particularly the espadín and mezcal in general. So he's working with a master distiller in Oaxaca, and he is like I say, you'll be able to see a lot of it in his own words on the article on TequilaAficionado.com. He explains to you why he is doing what he is doing. And this particular mezcal, just so you know, it is at 40. Gosh, we're both going to pull out our readers here, but it's at a little over 40,
Yeah.
43.2 alcohol by volume. And he said that it had nothing to do with the numbers so much as that's where he preferred the flavor profile and where he got what he got with his brand of mezcal. And this is a joint project with the folks at Milagro. You can also see an article on Moises and his partner Danny on Tequila Aficionado. I had a chance to meet. I actually met with both of them on the same day, and so we separated the articles between the both of them. But this is a joint project with Milagro, the folks at Milagro. And
Cool.
yeah, so anyway, Alex, I wanted to get your take on mezcals, because we've did a whole series of mezcals last year for our brand of promise and for sipping off the cuff, and this one, it's not, even though it's made with espadín, And I'll preface this by telling you that Ivan is very, very socially conscious. He is so much into sustainability. He is so much into reforestation. He wants to leave a very minimal footprint by making this mezcal. I'm not exactly sure what the price point is on this, but judging from the packaging, which by the way I want to right now nominate this for packaging brand of promise because this thing is beautiful.
I agree. I agree.
The logo, the artwork, you know, the thought that went into it.
Beautiful package.
Yeah, I mean, just everything. Look at the even the cap. You know, everything is just. It's a synthetic cork, by the way. But anyhow, I wanted to get your take on this mezcal because I have had some of it. I met him. I met Ivan originally at the San Antonio Cocktail Conference in January of 2015, and I got a chance to talk with him after the conference. Very interesting guy. If you get a chance to meet with him or see him speak somewhere, do it. Because he's just really, once you get past the you know, he's still a professor, you know what I mean? He's still a PhD. It's almost like taking a class. So make sure you take notes. I was very fortunate. He was giving these books away. He signed my copy. It's a great little primer for those of you who want to learn the differences of the different types of mezcals, you know, versus right now there's a controversy between industrial mezcal, artisanal mezcal, and traditional mezcal. So he defines those for us in this little book. It's a quick read, but it's very, very precise and concise, and I think it's worth everybody picking it up. So anyway, when I spoke to him, he was thinking of maybe in the next batch or so coming up with a different type of flavor profile or pulling something else out, another element that maybe we're not getting in the original. All I can say is it's got beautiful legs, beautiful tears. This obviously is not there's no real glass for mezcal right now, but we're using a Riedel tequila glass.
Got a complex nose.
Yeah, it's not, as a matter of fact, he makes it a point to tone down the smokiness because he feels that many of the mezcals that he's had emphasize too much of the smoke element, and he wanted to downplay the smoke and bring out the other elements in the nose and the flavor profile. So this is kind of like chemistry at its best.
Well, the nose is it's pretty amazing. It's not, you're not overcome by smoke, but the smoke is there.
It's there.
But again, the mezcal is very complex. You've got a lot of stuff going on in there. I get like a little bit of banana.
Now this is an organic mezcal also. It is certified organic as well. My understanding is that when you pit roast organic agave, it actually can't touch the ground. So there has to be a barrier between the agave and the ground, and I'm not exactly sure what that process is. But I thought that was very interesting that there are some certain stipulations, obviously, in order to be an organic mezcal.
So they come with this really cool little necker too. It's got a lot of information on the necker.
Yes. I think there's some recipes on there also.
What caught my eye on this was that it's a fifth-generation mescalero.
Yes. You'll see in the interview that I did with Ivan is that he didn't want to replicate a recipe, a family old recipe. He wanted to make a new style of mezcal in the old way. So he went to a fifth generation distiller, but we're not copying the proprietary recipes of this distiller, which are handed
Right.
down, father to
Generation.
son, generational. Yes.
So
And
it's green. You get the green notes.
yeah, the more you let it
Vegetable
sit, the more it opens.
notes.
I think Alex, you poured yours and let it sit for about 20 minutes before we went on the air.
Nice. Wow. Really full and hot in the mouth, huh?
Yeah, again, it's a more traditional higher ABV. It's not at the Gateway 40 ABV or 80 proof that we've seen a lot of these mezcals coming out. This one, it's a lot stronger, so it's more agave forward. Um, some of the notes I get, I mean, it's almost like shoe leather. I'm getting stuff like shoe leather. I'm getting, like you said, plantains, plátanos.
Yeah. Wow.
Now this is a Joven, so there aren't there. It's all unaged.
It's
Uh,
unaged, right?
yeah, and so we're not getting it mellowed by anything. Beautiful legs and tears, beautiful bubbles. There's no mistaking that this is a mezcal. Um,
It's really interesting with the mezcals how you can get so much flavor and without any wood.
well, the wood, that happens in the roasting. So
Right.
there is wood there, but it is more the essence of wood as opposed to the wood touching the juice. In other words,
Contact with it, right? Exactly.
right?
Yeah, you can definitely taste the firewood in there. Huh?
It's not the kind of espadín mezcal that you're used to tasting. There's almost a bitterness on the back end, a dryness, like you would get maybe with a gin, you know, like a
Right.
Bombay Sapphire, just real
Right.
dry at the end.
Right. Yeah,
And I,
it's a very unique mezcal.
yeah, it's not unlike anything that I've ever had, and I'll tell you what, it's very indicative of the maker, and I'm not talking about the Maestro Mescalero. I'm talking about Ivan, because he's so different in his thinking of what elements he wants to draw out of mezcal. And that's why I say he actually admitted to me that he would like to make other batches. I assume, I'm going to say this. I'm going to go on record and say I'm assuming that the next few batches are going to taste different. You know what I mean? He's going to start pulling out elements, and I don't know if that means he's going to go at a higher ABV. He's going to do something during distillation. I'm not exactly sure how that works. But if anybody can figure it out, it will be him. Because, you either love this mezcal or you'll hate it. It. You really have to. You have to. This is not a gateway mezcal. Don't.
No, no, no.
Thi-
It's definitely an acquired taste.
yes.
I,
Um,
I can. It's very similar to a single malt.
yeah.
Single malt, you really have. It's an acquired taste, and this is like a single malts of mezcals. This is very, very unique.
I like that
Uh,
single. I think that's what he was going for, really.
Yeah, it's very, very unique. It's very good. It's very good. This is a big boy mezcal,
Yeah, yeah, you got to
you
wear your
know.
big boy pants and underpants for this one, because there's no there. Be if you're a mezcal kind of person, this is the mezcal for you, and it's going to be unlike any other mezcal that you think. If you think you know mezcal, you don't until you have this. It's
Yeah,
really very very different.
there's so many layers in there. Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very.
Alex, what do you think? Is it brand of promise worthy? Again, I'm gonna there since there's no real glassware for mezcal, I'm gonna try it in my little gourd here. Um,
You know,
because
it's almost, Mike, I'm at a loss. It's almost like this is in a totally different category. I don't know if you feel the same
I
way,
think
but
so too. I have had,
this this is like way up on another level of mezcal.
but so is he. That, like I say, if you
Yeah.
have a chance to go see him talk, go. If you have a chance to read his book, go online. Anatomy of Mezcal. You'll be able to link to it from the Montelobos website as well. You can follow Montelobos on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. They do beautiful photography. Whoever's doing their social media really well. It's William Grant and Son, so they know what they're doing. But Yvon himself does have a Twitter account, so you can talk to the maker if you want. He's very open. I will tell you, this is an acquired taste. It is not the same flavor profile that you're used to having with mezcals. If you're into exploration, this is the mezcal you want. Um, I think you're right, Alex. We need to give it a separate category. I think it's brand of promise worthy. I think we have to
It's
come up with a
critical.
category for it. Because
We've been stumped.
we're stumped. Yeah, exactly. And we've had enough mezcals and from gateways to I mean the stuff that we had from and we've got more lined up. But the stuff we had, for instance, from what were the varieties that we had that had different? Some were at 40 ABV, but some were different, and they were all from different plants. And
Oh
and
yeah,
the variety was, Oaxaca, duh. The
Oaxaca.
Oaxaca mezcal line is just everywhere, and so I think that this one, um, it's interesting that that even with espadin you're going to get this kind of flavor profile, because it used to be that you had to get you have to get mezcal made from different plants to get something different out of
Right.
mezcal. And here he's drawing elements out of it that with espadin. So there's a method to his madness. And you can say the guy's a mad scientist. You can say, but he doesn't believe that. He doesn't believe that because he's been accused of that also. He's a really interesting guy. When you get to the heart of the problem, he's still very passionate, and when you get to know him and you get to watch him speak, and then away from the microphone and away from everything else, he's very very passionate about what he does, and that alone makes him a very worthy of looking for this mezcal. I think it's worthy to put in your collection. It's worthy to find. Um, but by the same token, exactly like what you said, Alex, it's like a single malt. This is big boy mezcal, and you're gonna don't introduce your friends to this unless they're seasoned mezcal drinkers. So, brand of promise, we don't know what category yet, but we'll
Put your big,
figure it out.
put your big boy pants on,
Yeah, it's a big boy pants
and if
mezcal.
you're a crybaby, go drink by yourself.
Yeah, no,
This ain't for
and
crybabies.
yeah, not for crybabies, uh, but definitely worthy. And get his book. Really, if you want to learn more about mezcal and how it's made, he breaks it down very simply for everybody. And hey, that's our take on it. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio, Texas. Look at
Awesome
that.
stuff. I'm Alex Perez, Southern California. You've been watching Sipping Off the Cuff on TequilaAficionado.com. We're actually tasting some mezcals too. Good stuff. Thanks
Yep.
for watching. And as always, sip wisely.